Carmi was buried alive for 32 days. It's another famous old magic poster from about 100 years ago. Can't resist these things. As I said to some of you earlier, man, if we were 100 years ago, I'd be doing this, probably getting buried. But I'm here. It's the first vidcast of 2014. I'm happy we're in 2014 because, well, I think for most of us, 2013 really sucked. It was a difficult year. I mean, we made it through. Many independents haven't. It's just a tricky world where everything's changed. As I've said before, I won't go into my whole thing about the video stores are closed because there are some open and there's always a sell-through, but the world really has changed. And as you know, we're insanely excited about our subscription site, which is growing literally every day, and we're putting more and more of our stuff in there, and hopefully that'll inspire everyone out there to become a member. But I'm here to talk about just a few exciting, really exciting things. You know, there's so much to talk about that I could make this an hour long and tell you about the next 4 months, but that would be really not smart. So let me just highlight a couple of items that we're all pretty jazzed about as we begin this, I'm sure to be super awesome year. First of all, this is a long, thick, awesome book called Empire of the Bees. What it is, and it's literally hundreds and hundreds of pages, is for the last 10 years, this super talented author in the UK, a guy named Dave J, has been researching and interviewing everyone I was involved with for all these years, making all these movies. And I guess there was a point where he realized that I'd done so much that it just was impossible to make it one massive volume. Plus we do things every day here, so there's no final chapter. So he decided to make it about my Empire years and cut it off at the end of '89, which is when Empire ended and I started Full Moon. So this book actually deals with just about every endeavor, every movie I've made since the 70s. I hate to admit the 70s, but it's true, all the way to '89. And it's, you know, I haven't even been through a third of it. I mean, it is a big, thick, amazing book where he literally interviews dozens and dozens of filmmakers that I've been involved with, some who've moved on to stardom, some have sort of disappeared into other lives. Not all of it's complimentary. There's a few guys who don't like me, and that's okay, but for the most part, I think it really reflects accurately what it was like as a young dude out there making movies, and in many cases theatrical films. So what happened was this book comes out in the UK in February. And I think later this year, they're going to have a US publisher, and it'll be probably towards the end of the year, maybe this summer. In the meantime, the only place on the planet where you'll be able to buy it is in the United Kingdom. However, being sort of in the loop, and the guy they're talking about, I asked the publisher if we could have 100 copies sent directly from the printer so I could at least let the first 100 of you purchase these. They're pricey. In the UK, they're going for 24, 25 pounds. It's almost 40 bucks, 45 bucks. So we bought 100, and not cheap, and they're all going to be signed and numbered. 01 out of 100. So these are going to go up for sale on Friday, and it's 50 bucks. And once they're gone, I mean, they're gone. I don't know when we'll ever get any more. I'm sure we will later in the year, but there is no current US publisher. So this is where they're at. And I must say, if you're into my earlier movies and you want to know the minutia of all that happened, the good and the bad and a lot of ugly, Empire of the Bees. So that's top of my list. It took Dave J 10 years to put this together. Interviews started and people were calling me saying, hey, there's some guy from the UK calling us and asking questions. I said, great. And then eventually he and I spoke. So this is a 10-year project. So that's item number one. Item number two, which is not number two, it's another number one, is we are going to start publishing next month our own horror magazine called Delirium. Now, it will be interlaced with lots and lots of connections to Full Moon and Empire, since I've been doing this for a lot of years. I guess we're going to be the common denominator, but my dream was always to make and publish a fantastic horror magazine that it's not really going to be in competition with the few that you guys are familiar with. I mean, there's Fangoria, there's Horror Hound, there's Rue Morgue. They're all wonderful magazines. I just think we'll take a slightly different approach, since we'll be the only magazine sort of created by filmmakers, and that may make a little difference. I certainly, or I should say we certainly, have access to so much talent out there, including a lot of artists who, again, moved on to big mainstream movie projects. We're going to find them all and talk to them and give you guys some insight. And we're really blessed with having an incredible partner in this venture, and that's Chris Alexander, who's also the editor of Fangoria and a talented filmmaker, and. Chris is the editor of Delirium, and I think you'll find it, first as a Full Moon or Empire fan, pretty illuminating. And of course, we'll even have some contribution from Dave J., who was spending 10 years writing Empire of the Bees, and of course, as you know, Stuart Gordon and Barbara Crampton, and many of the Full Moon or Empire alumni. But we are also going to go into other areas that have nothing to do with Full Moon, although this will all be in the genre exploitation, area. So super excited about Delirium. It premieres, issue number 1, which will be, I'm sure, gone very quickly, premieres in February. We're going to have it out on or before Valentine's Day. And then we're publishing Delirium bi-monthly. So there'll be 6 issues published this year. We're working on some great stories about Tourist Trap for issue number 2. I don't want to, again, I always feel like I'm super spilling the beans, but it's exciting to be part of this. So look for that. You can go to Full Moon Streaming or find us at Full Moon Direct for subscription. An issue's $10, or you can subscribe for the whole year, 6 issues for $45. So it's affordable. It's going to be pretty much subscription only. We'll be in a handful of stores. We may expand that, but right now it's pretty much subscription only. And as I've told you before, we're going to be going to hundreds of conventions next year. I think we'll be everywhere, maybe too much everywhere. And we will be bringing whatever the current issue or issues are to those shows, along with all of our other DVDs and bag of tricks. So Delirium is incredibly exciting. That's pretty much it. Next week, we're going to be finally announcing, and I'll be talking about the first 3 movies, original world premiere movies that are going to be on the Wizard Studios label. Those films will be released 1 a week, every Friday, beginning the 14th, Valentine's Day. And we'll have all the details and those movies up, as far as trailers and artwork and interviews with the filmmakers. It's exciting for us to introduce new filmmakers, and I'm sure exciting for them to be part of all this, part of Wizard Studios, which of course is only on Full Moon Streaming. So the only way you guys will get to see these films weekly is by being a subscriber. Some will be taken out later on DVD. I think that'll be exciting as well, and we'll see how well they travel. But they all will be released on Full Moon Streaming. The premiere will be every Friday, along with, of course, our Full Moon films and our Moonbeam films and material we're finding in the vault, our Grindhouse films, and more surprises. We just want Full Moon Streaming to be like the uber awesome hub where you guys can just have the best time. And in closing, one last note, the reason why I'm wearing this incredibly awesome shirt is I'm a big fan of this particular film. It's one of my favorites. It's a weird one. Not a lot of people have seen it. I think those who do enjoy it, are kind of hooked on Head of the Family, and I'm really dedicated to making Bride of the Head of the Family one day real soon. But one idea I came up with, which we're working on right now, is a little teaser for later in February, is we had such good response to the ganja version of Ginger Dead Man versus the Evil Bong that I thought, I don't want to wait till the next new movie, which we're working on. Let's take one of our favorite older films and ganja it up. So I'm going to call it the retro ganja version, but we'll have Head of the Family, the retro ganja version, up on Full Moon Streaming sometime in February, and it's going to follow exactly what we created for Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong. We'll have super beautiful, hot Mindy Robinson. She's going to be our ganja host again, and so there'll be new merch, old merch, factoids, another treasure hunt. We're going to hide golden moons. We're going to go back 20 years and reshoot the movie. No, we're going to hide those moons, and people who find them are going to get free stuff. So, just trying to keep the fun going here, and I think that's enough. Probably talked too long. I hope you guys are well. I really wish for all of you and all of us here a fantastic 2014. I think we deserve it. We got through last year, and for those of you who are like really cold out there, I don't know, sending you some warmth. You know, I turn the news on like all of us. I go, oh my God, it's like colder than the Arctic. How's that even possible? But that means it's probably a good time to get all warm and under 50 blankets and drink some booze and watch some of these movies. So that's it, and Happy New Year.